Hello and welcome back. Today we will begin with chapter 7 and we will do so by introducing interval notation. Now you may have seen this in your previous class. Today this is going to serve as a gentle transition into these habits that maybe we haven't been exercising as often. So today's agenda, we're going to take some notes. I'll finish it off with some examples and then I want to talk a little bit about integers. So let's begin by presenting you with some notes. So here we have the symbols. Here I have in English what the symbols mean, and here I also have instructions on when to apply them. So these are called brackets, and you use them when you have closed dots, and these are called parentheses, and you use them when you have open dots. So let's take a look at an example on how to apply these symbols. So here it says, use interval notation in order to write the set of solutions that are being represented on the following number line. So now here, I want to point out that we have a lower bound of -3, and we have an upper bound of +1. So now these are kind of the endpoints. Okay, my endpoint that's bounded below is -3. The endpoint that's bounded from above is +1. So I'm going to write this as -3, comma 1. Now we will make use of these symbols here. So notice that if I go back, here I have an open circle. So open dots or open circles tell us that we have to use a set of parentheses. Or actually not a set, we're just going to use parentheses on the left. So here, let me write that down. We're going to use parentheses. Okay, and now we got to take a look at the other endpoint, which is +1. And we see that here we have a closed dot. So closed dots tell us that we have to use brackets here. So here, I'm going to use a bracket. And that's how I write this interval. So I'm going to put a bracket and a parentheses, and that would be my solution. Let's try a couple more. So let's look at this one now. So now I'm going to look at my endpoints. So here, my endpoint from below is -2. And then my endpoint from above is +4. Now all of this shading, these are all of the solutions that exist within the interval that I'm about to write. So here -1 would be a solution, 0 would be a solution, 1 would be a solution, and then even these things that are not explicitly labeled, such as 0.5, 0.75, even maybe pi can be a solution here. So let's use the notation. So here we have open. So this tells us that we're going to have to bound this with a parentheses. And now we got to look at our other endpoint, and we have another open dot. So we have to bound this using another parenthesis. And we're pretty much done now. We will just write these two numbers, -2 and +4. -2, comma, +4, and a parentheses from above, a parentheses from below. And actually those were brackets, my bad. Parentheses from above, parentheses from below, and that is my interval, -2, 4. Now let's look at one final one. So here, again, I'm going to look at my endpoints. So here I have a -26 with a closed circle. And here I have a -22 as my other endpoint with an open circle. So now my interval is going to be from -26, comma, to -22. And we have open on the right, so we have a parentheses. And we have closed on the left, so I'm going to have to use a bracket here. And that is my set of solutions represented in interval notation. So practice these, try them out, and then I'll explain a little bit more explicitly on what these symbols mean.